Hi everybody, we're going to solve system of linear equations using the substitution method. There are basically 3 steps that we want to use, and we're going to use 3 examples. So we can read through this quickly. We're going to solve for one of the equations for one of its variables, then substitute the expression that we find from step 1 into the other equation and solve for the other variable. Then substitute the value from step 2 into the revised equation from step 1 and solved. So I know that sounds kind of confusing. So we're going to do 3 examples and do all 3 steps. We're also going to check our solution. So here's our 2 systems, and what I'm going to do is step 1 is solve for one variable. I'm going to pick this one here to rewrite and solve for x because my coefficient in front of x is 1. And that's usually how you judge which one to solve for. So basically I'm going to rewrite this one and say that x equals negative 3y plus 3. I just subtracted 3y from both sides. That was step 1. So step 1. Step 2 is I'm going to substitute this x here, x equals that, into this x here. So for step 2, I'm going to write this, and everywhere there's an x, I'm going to put in what my x equals, which is negative 3y plus 3. Then I'm going to add, finish up my equation, and you notice I don't have any x's here, so I'm going to solve for y. You distribute here, combine like terms. So basically, subtract 6 from here. So we're going to get negative y equals negative 11. When you negate this, you're going to get y equals 11. That's step 2. Step 3 is we're going to plug this y into my revised equation here for step 3. So basically I'm going to say x equals negative 3 times 11 plus 3, and that gives me my x. So x equals negative 33 plus 3, which equals negative 30. So my solution is x is negative 30 and my y is 11. And then what you want to do is check by plugging in to equation 1, your original when you check. And basically we're just going to say 2 times negative 30 plus 5 times 11. Does that equal negative 5? And I can't squeeze it in there, but yes, it does. And then we're going to say is negative 30 plus 3 times 11. Does that equal 3? And yes, it does. So when you check, which is actually, we could call that step 4, when you check, some of y'all will be using a calculator, make sure you substitute it back into your original. Don't use this one, because what if you had made a mistake there? So always check your work. Okay, we've got 2 more we're going to do. In this case, it's kind of very similar. Step 1 means I'm going to rewrite one of these equations. I'm going to rewrite my second equation because I have this lone x here, and it's very easy to do. I'm just going to move the 4y over. It's positive on the left, so it's going to be negative on the right. All right, now that's step 1. Now step 2, I'm going to substitute this into my x value here. Put it there. So everywhere there's an x, I'm going to write in my equation. This is the part where you're going to make a mistake, so be very careful with this. Distribute negative 8y plus 4 plus 5y equals 7. Combine like terms. That's negative 3y. I'm going to subtract 4 from both sides, and that equals 3. Divide by negative 3, and I'm going to get y is negative 1. And then step 3 means I'm going to plug in my negative 1 into my revised equation. So x equals negative 4 times negative 1 plus 2, and that's going to be equal 6. There's 4 plus 2 here. So my solution is x is 6, and my y is negative 1. And then you should check. You check with the calculator. Where do we check? We check back to the original first two equations. And the last one, I have this system. Now, which one do you think we should revise for step 1? We're going to use this one because my y here is all by itself. It makes it easier. So I'm going to rewrite this as y equals, I'm moving the 3x over. It's positive, so now it's going to be negative, plus 16. Basically, you're subtracting 3x from both sides. Now I'm going to substitute for my y and plug it into this y into my second equation. So that's step 2. So 2x minus 3 times negative 3x plus 16 equals negative 4. And this time we're solving for x. Okay, so basically I'm going to go ahead and copy down my 2x here. And I'm distributing a negative 3 here. So that's going to be positive 9x minus 48 equals negative 4. So just take away the 2x and just treat this as a separate thing when you're doing it. Be careful there. So basically we get 11x equals, we're going to add 44 to both sides. And that's going to yield, 48 to both sides. Little dyslexic here. I'm always thinking the answer, so that equals negative 44, or that equals positive 44. So x equals 4. So we get x equals 4. And I'm going to plug that into my revised equation for step 3. So step 3, I'm going to have y equals negative 3 times 4 plus 16. And that's going to yield negative 12 plus 16 equals 4. So my y is 4 and my x is 4. And when you plug them back in, you will yield the same results. I think the biggest mistake students make is right in here. So be careful when you do this part here. Treat this as separate. You know how to distribute. And then just bring him down here, okay? The next video is going to be solving systems of linear equations using the elimination method. And you all have a nice day. Thank you.